The 21st century has ushered in an era of unprecedented technological advancement, but this progress has come at a price. The rapid pace of innovation has brought about new challenges that we are only beginning to understand. We live in a hyper-connected world, where the digital and physical realms are increasingly intertwined. Our daily lives are now deeply integrated with technology, from smart homes to wearable devices. This interconnectedness, while offering immense benefits, has also exposed us to a new form of conflict cyber warfare. The digital landscape has become a new frontier for battles that were once fought on physical grounds. Unlike traditional warfare, which relies on physical force, cyber warfare is waged in the digital realm, targeting computer systems, networks, and data. The tools of this trade are not guns and tanks, but lines of code and sophisticated software. Cyber warfare represents a paradigm shift in how nations compete and engage in conflict. It has redefined the rules of engagement and the strategies employed by state and non-state actors alike. It transcends geographical boundaries and challenges traditional notions of sovereignty. In this new battlefield, the enemy can strike from anywhere in the world, at any time. The battleground is no longer a physical landscape, but a complex web of interconnected networks and digital infrastructure. The stakes are higher, and the consequences of a breach can be far-reaching. The weapons are not bullets and bombs, but malicious code, sophisticated algorithms, and disinformation campaigns. These digital tools can disrupt economies, influence elections, and even endanger lives. Cyber warfare is characterized by its asymmetry. The power dynamics are different, and the traditional measures of military strength do not apply. A small group of skilled hackers, backed by a nation-state, can inflict significant damage on a much larger and better-equipped adversary. This new form of warfare requires a different kind of preparedness and response. This asymmetry levels the playing field in international relations, allowing smaller nations to punch above their weight and non-state actors to pose significant threats. The balance of power is constantly shifting. The very nature of cyber warfare makes it difficult to attribute attacks and determine responsibility. The anonymity of the internet provides cover for those who wish to do harm. The attackers often operate in the shadows, using sophisticated techniques to cover their tracks and obfuscate their origins. This makes it challenging for defenders to respond effectively. This lack of accountability creates a dangerous environment where the lines between peace and conflict become blurred. In this new era, the rules are still being written, and the stakes have never been higher. Cyber warfare encompasses a broad spectrum of activities, each with its own unique characteristics and objectives. It is a constantly evolving battlefield where the stakes are incredibly high and the tactics used are as varied as they are sophisticated. One common tactic is the distributed denial of service, or DDoS attack, which aims to overwhelm a target system with traffic, rendering it inaccessible to legitimate users. These attacks can cripple websites, disrupt online services, and cause significant financial and reputational damage to organizations. Imagine a website being bombarded with millions of requests simultaneously, effectively shutting it down. This flood of traffic can come from a network of compromised computers, known as a botnet, which are controlled by the attacker. Malware, another insidious tool in the cyber warfare arsenal, refers to malicious software designed to infiltrate and disrupt computer systems. It can be delivered through various means, such as email attachments, infected websites, or even physical media like USB drives. Malware can take many forms, from viruses that spread rapidly through networks to Trojan horses disguised as legitimate software. These malicious programs can lie dormant for extended periods, waiting for the right moment to activate and cause havoc. Once installed, Malware can steal sensitive information, spy on user activity, or provide attackers with unauthorized access to critical systems. This stolen data can be used for identity theft, financial fraud, or sold on the dark web to the highest bidder. Ransomware, a particularly malicious form of malware, encrypts the victim's data and demands a ransom for its release. Victims are often left with a difficult choice: pay the ransom and hope for the best, or lose their valuable data forever. This tactic has become increasingly popular among cyber criminals and state-sponsored actors alike, as it offers the potential for financial gain while simultaneously disrupting critical infrastructure and services. The impact of such attacks can be devastating, affecting everything from hospitals to financial institutions. Espionage, a cornerstone of traditional warfare, has also found fertile ground in the digital realm. Cyber espionage allows attackers to infiltrate networks and steal valuable information without ever setting foot on enemy soil. Cyber espionage involves the unauthorized access and theft of sensitive information from individuals, organizations, or governments. This stolen information can include trade secrets, military plans, or personal data, all of which can be used to gain a strategic advantage. This information can be used for a variety of purposes, including gaining a strategic advantage, undermining competitors, or blackmailing individuals. The consequences of such breaches can be far-reaching, affecting national security, economic stability, and personal privacy. Sabotage represents the most destructive form of cyber warfare, aiming to inflict physical damage or disrupt critical infrastructure. By targeting industrial control systems, attackers can cause real-world harm that extends beyond the digital realm. By infiltrating and manipulating industrial control systems, attackers can cause power outages, disrupt transportation networks, or even trigger environmental disasters. The potential for widespread chaos and destruction is immense. The potential consequences of such attacks are staggering, highlighting the very real threat cyber warfare poses to our physical security and well-being. As our world becomes increasingly interconnected, the importance of robust cybersecurity measures cannot be overstated. The rise of cyber warfare has created a thriving market for cyber mercenaries, skilled hackers willing to sell their services to the highest bidder. These digital guns for hire offer a range of services, from launching DDoS attacks to developing sophisticated malware. Their motivations are often financial, but some may be driven by ideological or political agendas. Cyber mercenaries pose a significant challenge to global security, as they provide state and non-state actors with access to sophisticated cyber capabilities without the need to develop them in-house. This lowers the barrier to entry for cyber warfare, making it easier for rogue states, terrorist organizations, and even criminal enterprises to engage in malicious cyber activity. The use of cyber mercenaries also complicates attribution efforts. When an attack is carried out by a third party, it becomes more difficult to determine who is ultimately responsible and what their motivations might be. This ambiguity can lead to miscalculations and escalate tensions between nations, increasing the risk of unintended consequences. The proliferation of cyber mercenaries highlights the need for international cooperation and regulation in cyberspace. Just as the international community has established norms and treaties governing conventional warfare, so too must we develop a framework for responsible state behavior in cyberspace. This framework should include measures to prevent the proliferation of cyber weapons, hold states accountable for their actions in cyberspace, and establish mechanisms for conflict resolution. The history of cyber warfare is littered with examples that highlight its evolving nature and potential for disruption. From early viruses and worms to sophisticated state-sponsored attacks, the landscape of cyber threats has continually evolved, becoming more complex and dangerous over time. One of the earliest and most well-known examples is the Stuxnet worm, discovered in 2010. This groundbreaking piece of malware was unlike anything seen before, showcasing a new level of sophistication in cyber weaponry. Stuxnet was a sophisticated piece of malware that targeted Iranian nuclear facilities, causing centrifuges to spin out of control and disrupting Iran's nuclear program. It was designed to be highly specific, targeting only certain types of industrial control systems, which made it a precision tool in the realm of cyber warfare. While never officially acknowledged, Stuxnet is widely believed to have been a joint operation between the United States and Israel, demonstrating the potential for cyber weapons to be used in a targeted and highly effective manner. This collaboration highlighted the strategic use of cyber tools in achieving geopolitical objectives without traditional military engagement. Stuxnet also highlighted the blurring lines between cyber espionage, sabotage, and traditional warfare, raising important questions about the legal and ethical implications of such attacks. The covert nature of cyber operations complicates international law, making it difficult to establish clear rules of engagement and accountability. In 2007, Estonia, a small Baltic nation, was hit by a series of cyber attacks that crippled its banks, government websites, and media outlets. This unprecedented attack on a nation's digital infrastructure was a wake-up call for the world. The attacks, widely attributed to Russia, were retaliation for Estonia's decision to relocate a Soviet-era war memorial. This incident underscored the geopolitical tensions that can be exacerbated through cyber means. The Estonian cyber attacks were a watershed moment, demonstrating the vulnerability of critical infrastructure to cyber attacks and the potential for cyber warfare to disrupt the functioning of a nation-state. It showed how digital attacks could paralyze essential services, creating chaos and uncertainty. These early examples of cyber warfare laid the groundwork for future conflicts, highlighting the growing importance of the digital domain in international relations and the need for nations to develop robust cyber defenses. As cyber threats continue to evolve, so too must the strategies and technologies used to counter them. They also underscored the asymmetric nature of cyber warfare, where a relatively small group of actors can inflict significant damage on a much larger adversary. This asymmetry means that even non-state actors and small nations can wield significant power in the cyber realm, challenging traditional notions of military strength and security.